Well, on that point, I think we take a pause. Let's have a news update with Kasia Madera. Kasia.
David, thanks very much. Labour is on course to make significant gains following the local elections in England, Scotland and Wales. In England, there have been large swings to Labour in the north and south, with both the Conservatives and Liberal Democrats losing councillors. The Conservatives have lost Southampton, Harlow and Great Yarmouth to Labour, who've also gained control of Norwich, Exeter, Derby and Carlisle. UKIP also appears to have made gains at the Tories' expense. Initial figures suggest the lowest turnout in England for more than a decade. In Plymouth, the Conservative MP Gary Streeter said his party was taking a bit of a beating and predicted the council would fall to Labour. He blamed the coalition government's recent performance.
The interesting thing for me was doing a lot of work on the doorstep was that people were unhappy, obviously, about the last 2 months of our government. And many of them said, look, we can accept many things from the Conservative Party, but we expect them to be competent. And that was one of the messages coming across. The last 2 months, the first 18 months of the coalition government, we've done extremely well. The last 2 months, not so good. And we have to regain our sure-footedness if we're going to recapture lost trust and confidence.
Well, Dr. Evan Harris, the former Liberal Democrat MP, said many of his party were tired of being the fall guys within government and that more needed to be done to differentiate them from their Conservative coalition partners.
We do want to see increasing efforts to make clear that not everything that a Conservative-led government does is something that Liberal Democrats would not be seeking to undo in the next Parliament. Obviously, there are joint things that we share, but these are two different parties, and that needs to get across.
Liverpool and Salford have been choosing their first directly elected mayors, but Nottingham has voted against having one. 57% of voters rejected the idea in a ballot which drew fewer than a quarter of voters. The city was one of 11 to stage a referendum on the question of whether or not to elect a mayor. There are reports of a low turnout in Scotland as well. Councils will begin counting ballot papers tomorrow morning, where attention will focus on the battle for control of the country's biggest cities. Every seat on Scotland's 32 authorities has been contested. All Welsh councils except Anglesey have held elections. Most areas are expected to declare in the next few hours, but others will not announce results until later this afternoon. In the capital, voters have been electing the mayor and choosing the new London Assembly. Counting will begin later this morning, with results due to be announced on Friday evening. Those are the latest headlines. Now back to Vote 2012.
Good. Well, can we have a look at Wrexham now, because we've had a result in from there?
It's the first one in from Wales.